Today I'm going to be talking on the behalf of the government about the motion. As an artist, this house regrets the rise of AI generated art. First, I'm going to define the motion. Artist in general is a person who creates art, but in this context, an artist is a person who gains money from the creation of art for others traditionally without the use of AI. AI generated art is an art created by an artificial intelligence program, such as drawings, music, and other form of art that can be recreated by AI. For easier purpose, I'm going to be referring AI generated art as AI art. As to why I, as an artist, regrets the rise of AI generated art, I have two arguments supporting my point. First, AI generated art can cause artists to be at a loss due to more people using the easier and cheaper option of AI art and misusing them. The use of AI generated art has exponentially rise, especially nowadays, where AI generated art is really popular. With it's now easier to reach and easier to use. A lot of people choose to use AI generated art instead of traditional artists. As a person whose job to make an art, or as a commissioner that you need them to support your life, with the rise of AI generated art, that can lead us to a loss. We Maybe there's some people who cannot support their life anymore due to the rise of AI generated art. We are starting to be replaced by AI art because humans have more limitation that can prohibit them from making certain art or art style due to time, maybe just their art styles and other things. But with the use of AI art, those things can be achieved way easier due to AI art has fewer limitation, or maybe even no limitation. And due to the efficiency and the faster reach of AI generated art, more people now have choose to use AI generated art. Also, there's a lot of people who has misused the art that has been created by AI as a mean to scam people and advertising those art as their own, because AI generated art can't and is harder to track back to the real creator. For what is supporting my argument, I have two examples. For my first example is with the rest of AI apps such as Dolly, ChatGPT, and Canva, who has an AI program and AI voices. People can and have used those as a mean to get money and overshadowed the small traditional artist. And we can see over and over again on social media such as TikTok and Instagram, where there are no people claiming themselves as artists or just outwardly as an AI artist, stealing the spotlight and almost replacing us traditional artists who use social media as a mean to publicate our art for money. But due to the rise of AI art, it's now harder to differentiate the real artist and the AI artist, leading to more people getting AI art that leaves us artists at a loss. For my second example is something that has been trending on social media, mostly on the art communities, the misuse of AI generated art as a means of advertising their product and not giving what the buyers are expecting. As for one of the most popular one is a creator who use AI generated art as a mean to publicate their online brushes that is supposed to achieve this certain art style that is shown by the AI generated art. That leads to a lot of artists buying the brushes that aren't cheap and not getting what they are expecting. With the rise of AI art, that leads us to a loss. This is why I, as an artist, regrets the rise of AI art. For my second argument, the authenticity of an artist's art is getting harder to prove against AI art. With the rise of AI art, for most artists, usually the smaller artists, it's harder to differentiate from AI art. The authenticity of their art can also be harder to prove due to the rise of AI art, especially for an up and rising small artist content creator. Since the use of social media, this authenticity of of an artwork has always been debated, but due to the rise of AI art, it has become worse, even though the community has over and over again tried to find ways to debunk and prove AI art. AI art do and will always be improving in the future. As to what is supporting my arguments, I have two examples. My first example is the use of time lapses. For the longest of times, artists has been using time lapses as a proof of their artwork's authenticity. And for years, this method has been flawless. This method, artists has been relying for this method as the proof of authenticity of their artworks. But recently, AI generated art time lapses has been trending on social media, and this AI generated artwork thus looks almost exactly the same to the traditional art time lapses, and now it have the attention of a lot of big artists that has been reacting to them and voicing their worries about the future of art and how AI art is affecting it. If one of the most used method to prove the authenticity of someone's art can be recreated well by AI, how will AI expand in 1 or 2 years? Maybe to most artists right now, we can still differentiate art and AI art. But in 1 or 2 years, when AI art has improved significantly, maybe even us artists cannot differentiate art and AI art. Uh, and even most bystander right now, which is the target demographic of art, the buyer can't really differentiate them. For my second example is the use of ChatGPT or other AI generator with the mix of AI voice generator to make poems and write songs. With AI generated lyrics, when executed correctly by people, they can sound authentic, emotional, and sound like a real person make them. But currently, we do still need people to execute the song and poems to sing and speak. But with the rise of AI and the rise of technology, AI generated voices is starting to get better. Now AI generated voices can and has been teach to speak like a certain person, maybe to have a certain talking style, a certain accent. They can be fed by a certain people's way of talking to mimic their way of talking, to mimic their accent, to mimic the emotion to mimic the emotion. And with the mix of AI that can create poems and songs, and with the mix of developing AI voice, even those are getting harder to differentiate. So with problems of authenticity, AI is starting to blur AI and art, which is bad for us as artists. So again, as artists, we all need to support our life using art. But with the rise of AI art, new problems such as authenticity of art, and with the mix of people choosing AI art more than traditional art, this is why I, again, as an artist, regret the rise of AI art.